Look, you just ran into someone you've met at least 3 times. You know their face, their energy, their dog, their sister, and something they said that once made you laugh. But their name? Gone. Completely, cleanly gone, like your brain deleted it on purpose. And now you've got about 9 seconds before this gets awkward. So you smile a little too wide, angle your body, and hope someone else says their name first, or that their phone rings, or honestly, that anything interrupts the moment. Here's the thing. If this is you, you've probably spent years believing something uncomfortable about yourself. That you're careless, distracted, maybe even a little rude. That other people remember names just fine, and something in you is just broken. But what if that story is completely wrong? Most people assume forgetting names is a memory problem, like your brain is just bad at storing information. And the self-improvement world piles on. Repeat their name 3 times, make eye contact, try harder. But here's what most people don't realize. Your brain isn't failing when it forgets a name. It's actually doing exactly what it was built to do. It's making a ruthless, automatic, completely unconscious decision about what matters and what doesn't. And names? Your brain has decided they don't. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds like an excuse. Stay with me, because once you understand what's actually happening in your brain, you'll never see this the same way again. Picture this. You're at a party and someone walks up, shakes your hand, and says, "Hi, I'm Kevin." In that exact second, your brain is doing about 6 things at once. It's reading Kevin's face, calculating if he likes you, figuring out what to say next, monitoring how you're standing, and wondering if you look weird. And in the middle of all that chaos, Kevin hands you a single arbitrary sound. His name. Kevin. Here's the brutal truth about names. They don't mean anything. In cognitive psychology, names are what researchers call semantically empty. They don't connect to anything you already know. They don't trigger an image, a feeling, or an association. They just sit there, floating, with nothing to anchor them. In 1987, researchers ran an experiment called the Baker-Baker paradox. They showed 2 groups the same photo of a man. One group was told he was a baker by profession. The other group was told his last name was Baker. Days later, the group who learned the occupation remembered it easily. The name group struggled. Same word, completely different retention. That's because the word baker as a job activates associations: bread, flour, early mornings, warmth. As a name, it activates nothing. So when Kevin introduces himself, your brain asks, does this connect to anything I already know? And when the answer is no, it quietly lets it go. Not out of rudeness, but out of efficiency. Here's what most people don't realize about chronic name forgetters. They often have extraordinary memory in every other area. Ask them what someone wore 3 years ago. They'll tell you. Ask about a conversation, the emotion in the room, or the one strange detail no one noticed. They remember it vividly. But the name of the person right in front of them? Gone. That's because their brain is built for meaning. It stores stories, feelings, context, and texture. It's highly associative, great at understanding people deeply, and terrible at holding arbitrary labels under pressure. And here's the part nobody talks about. This kind of brain often belongs to storytellers, therapists, writers, the ones who intuitively understand people. Their brain isn't broken, it's optimized for something else. Now, for some of you, there might be something deeper going on. Chronic name forgetting can be an overlooked sign of ADHD, and many adults have no idea they have it. ADHD isn't just about hyperactivity. At its core, it's a working memory issue. Working memory is like a mental whiteboard where your brain holds active information. Most people have a decent-sized whiteboard. For someone with ADHD, it's smaller and things slide off faster. So picture Kevin again. He says his name and your brain tries to write it on the whiteboard.
but before the ink even dries, something else wipes it away. There's also something called the next in line effect. When people prepare to speak, they remember less of what the previous person said, because mentally, they've already moved on. For people with ADHD or social anxiety, this isn't occasional, it's constant. They're always thinking ahead, narrating, editing, preparing, which means the name never fully lands, because they were never fully present when it arrived. If you've spent years thinking you're careless, consider this. You might just have a brain that needs different tools, not a broken brain, a different one. And here's something important to say to the people whose names get forgotten, because it hurts. When it happens repeatedly, it can feel like you didn't matter enough to be remembered. But here's what's actually true. The person who forgot your name probably remembers your conversation.
They remember how you spoke, your expressions, the unique thing you said. They were there, just not quite there for the one detail that felt the least like you. Memory isn't a recording. It's a series of ruthless editorial decisions made without your permission. And your name, an arbitrary sound given before you could walk, will often lose to the texture of who you are. So here's your shift. Stop treating name forgetting as a flaw. Start treating it as information. It tells you how your brain is wired, associative, contextual, meaning-driven. Once you know that, you can work with it. Repeat the name out loud. Connect it to something familiar. Build the bridge your brain won't build automatically. You're not absent. You're not dismissive. Your brain just prioritizes differently. And sometimes the least interesting detail is the first to go. The name was never the most important part. What you remember, the real human details, that's what matters. That's been there all along. Now, go be kind to your brain. Type 1 in the comments if this is you, and send this to someone who always forgets your name. Let them watch it without saying a word.